What's up, muchachas? The other day I was listening to music, which I do on occasion, and this is the thing, I'm not a fan of the music in the same way that I'm not a fan of food. This is the problem. Anytime I try and like explain what my interests are, I end up sounding like an alien who's desperately trying to like imitate what human behavior is supposed to be. Maybe that's not even true. Maybe I just think that about myself because I desperately want to feel special, which if anything is quite a human desire, isn't it? Maybe that isn't even necessarily true. What if there are aliens out there that have their extraterrestrial equivalent of being a raw XD kid or a 13-year-old obsessed with Hot Topic? You would think that would make you resonate with them. But if anything, that's quite grotesque to know that even a species that is more advanced than we are is still cringe. Maybe cringe is innate. Maybe we will never be able to evolve out of cringe. Maybe existence itself is cringe. I'm such an intellectual. Where's my honorary doctorate? Anywho, I was listening to music. And this is the thing, when I say I'm not a fan of music, I mean that music is not a huge part of my life. You know, it's an art form that I enjoy, but I'm not a huge fan of musicians generally. I like individual songs. I like the way that they make me feel. More importantly, I like the little delusional fantasies I can concoct in my brain as I walk around and listen to said music. You know, isn't that why people listen to music? I don't think it is to connect with emotions or anything that deep. In my case, it's just to indulge whatever underlying symptoms are going to inevitably evolve into some sort of psychiatric disorder. But as I was listening to said music, especially going way back into like the stuff I was liking 10 plus years ago. You ever do that? You ever listen to like the music that you were bopping to when you were in the 7th grade? In my case, it includes those little two girls that were singing along to Nicki Minaj lyrics, and then Ellen, of course, in typical fashion, just had to have them onto her show so she could suck the virality out of him. It's how she maintains her youth. One of them was like kind of chunky and the other one was blonde. The only two archetypes for women. It's incredible that even back then I had phenomenal music taste. But there was a specific subgenre of these songs that I noticed, and it was like sad white people music. And I know that sometimes people are like, why does it have to be white? What's the difference? Blah, 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 blah. Listen, I like categories, okay? I like filing things under arbitrary labels, okay? It's fun. Also, it's clickbaity. And the only color I really care about is green, baby. Is that moolah? I actually said that to the woman who was processing my papers when I was filing to be a citizen. And she was like, you know what? You don't even have to take the test. I believe you. Congratulations, you are now officially an American. I don't think this was a standard process or legal, to be honest with you, but I'm not giving back my certificate of naturalization. But it did get me thinking about the kinds of songs that I would file under this like sad white people music. I remember back in the day when there was an actual distinction between like white and black youth culture. You know what I'm talking about? Now the internet has blended the two to the point where there really isn't a distinction. And there's good and bad that comes with that. But you know, being in high school and witnessing these lily white suburban 14-year-olds reciting Fetty Wap lyrics about cooking up in a trap house with his trap queen. Truly, there was a kid in my art class. I'm not even kidding. This was like an intro 101 art class when I was a junior. That was like 14 years old. Lily White. All he did was recite Fetty Wap lyrics. In that moment, I knew youth, white and black culture, dead. There is no such thing anymore. But back in the day, there was a distinct flavor of music that was like, ooh, this is Caucasian. And I kind of miss it. I think it actually made things more interesting. I think it made things more diverse. I miss that like very openly sad, cringy, emo kind of flavor to culture that now has been imbued into things like hip hop. And now there's like sad emo rappers. And then it got me thinking about what my favorite sad white people songs are. And so, without further ado, because I've been yapping for so long, I'm gonna give you my top 10 sad white people songs. Hey, editing crouton here. It turns out that I cannot play a single second of any of this music without getting a big, fat copyright strike. So, I'm going to be performing covers of every single one of these songs, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna listen to my beautiful melodic voice. You hear that, Universal Music Group? I'm not going to let you snatch my hard-earned money out of my grubby, sweaty little brown hands. Enjoy. At number 10, we have an entry from a band that I think everyone, the second y'all saw the title, were like, I know for a fact these people are gonna be on this list. My Immortal by Evanescence. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears. When you'd scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, and you'd still have all of me. I know some of y'all might have thought that I was going to put arguably the most popular Evanescence song, Bring Me Back to Life, but that's not a sad song. The intro is kind of sad, but then it picks up in the chorus, and then it becomes a banger. If anything, when I say sad, I mean songs that they clearly indicate a level of yearning. You know what I mean? And the whites, they love to yearn. I love it. It's delicious. It's my favorite aspect of white culture, is like the unabashed yearning that I think back in the day, I'm not trying to be like a sociologist or whatever, but I do think that there was like a level of vulnerability that was way more acceptable in white subculture than black subculture, especially when it came to men. Now, that distinction is pretty much gone. There's like sad emo rappers, which I guess in a way, I'm glad that people are able to express themselves more, but I don't know. There was something about that early 2000s like sad white boy music that just, we don't really have that anymore. Now all the sad white boys are writing manifestos. I miss when they would just wear eyeliner and screech into a microphone. Not only does this song highlight Amy Lee's phenomenal voice, she is easily one of the best vocalists of the early 2000s, and I don't think she gets enough credit for that. But it is such a good song to like do this to, you know? These songs, if you can't like do the Kristen Stewart in Twilight like hair pull, but you get the vibe. That's what I love about this band. You don't even need to know the lyrics. You just need to be able to resonate with that like, you know, Irish wailing. Is she Irish? Amy Lee, you are Irish now. Okay, number 9. Look, I know this is not the most original addition, but I had to include In the End by Linkin Park. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. R.I.P. I love when a rock star wears glasses. It just tickles my fancy. Another great vocalists. I'm telling you, these Yacubians were giving it their all in these performances. But there is such a sadness, there's such a yearning in his voice. Like you can tell he was really struggling with something and he wasn't able to overcome it, unfortunately. But you can taste the sadness, you can taste the yearning. I get it. I understand why teens with angst were listening to this back in the day. Like, no one understands me. My parents are such assholes because they won't let me get a motorcycle. Okay, up next we got number 8. Don't laugh at me, okay? But Teardrops on My Guitar by Miss Taylor Swift. So I drive home alone as I turn off the light. I'll put his picture down and maybe get some sleep tonight. Cause he's the reason for the teardrops on my guitar. The only one who's got enough for me to break my heart. He's the song in the car I keep singing, don't know why I do. This was Taylor back in the day. Tell me why. Tears were welling up in my eyes singing along to it when I was, 8 years old? I had never so much as had a crush on a boy, let alone been in love, let alone been heartbroken. I didn't even care about boys at this age. I barely knew what boys were. Yet when I saw her in that gorgeous green dress lying on that bed next to her acoustic guitar, Drew looks at me, I fake a smile so he won't see. Miss Taylor. See, this is the thing. She does not mess with her lyrics. Her pen game is fire, okay? I know that she's like the epitome of like white capitalist feminism or whatever, but back in the day, when Miss Taylor was putting that pen to paper, that quill that I'm assuming she was writing in when she was a teenager because she thought it was like, this makes me feel artistic and like I'm living in a time before, you know, indoor plumbing and vaccines. It felt genuine. That's what I love about so much of these songs. I don't care how cringy they are. There is a rawness. There's an authenticity to how vulnerable they're being, and I think that's beautiful. I think there needs to be more of that. I don't like this like nonchalant BS that you have to be like, ugh, you can't seem like you care too much. You can't let the other person know how you're feeling. You cowards. You sniveling cowards. You're scared of your emotions, and you're scared to feel. And I like that these songs make you feel. Anyway, this is such a heartbreaking song, and I think this was based on a real crush that she had. Oh, he's probably kicking himself. Maybe not. Maybe he was just like, I might have actually dodged a bullet. But, Miss Taylor, I gotta give you your credit. I gotta give you your flowers. Okay, up next, number 7, I'll Be Watching You by Snow Patrol. Since you've been gone, I've been lost without a trace. I dream at night, I can only see your face. I look around, but it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold and I long for your embrace. I keep crying, baby, baby, please. Is this a creepy ass song? I will say though, this is what's interesting about music like this. Is it only works if you look at it from the perspective of the singer. If you are the third party that is being referred to in this is a horror movie. This is terrifying. And a lot of songs about yearning are like this, right? It's only heartfelt when you're looking at it from the perspective of the person writing the song. The person whose affection that they're yearning for, but clearly, like, it's not being reciprocated, they're like, oh, that's a creep. You're a weirdo, you're a freak. That's foreshadowing. Like, this is a song that anybody who has stalked an individual or who has hidden in their bushes peering through their window, which I mean, I've done on occasion, not because I liked the person, just because I'm curious, okay? It's a free country. It's not against the law to spy on people in their homes. Don't look that up. I think it's also just the sort of soft delivery of this man. You know what I mean? Like, he sounds like he's singing over the sleeping body of the woman that he's in love with. I'll be watching you. Da, 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 da. Also, phenomenal melody. I mean, it was then sampled by P. Diddler. So this is both in like the yearning / creepy category, but sometimes you're in that mood. And at number 6, we have Hurt by Johnny Cash. I hurt myself today to see if I could still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. This is, I would argue, like a sad white person song that's like, you've been through something. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why like war veterans or people who've like lost their families or people who've been evicted, lost all of their savings, been diagnosed with cancer, lived through like the Dust Bowl. I don't know how old these people are. This is a song that aches. I feel it in my bones. It makes my joints hurt. This is a song that makes you like feel like you are a deadbeat alcoholic sitting in a bar at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're looking at your life like, dang, this is how I'm living. This is what I'm choosing to do. I'm so far gone. Number 5, Behind These Hazel Eyes by Kelly Clarkson. Here I am once again. I'm torn into pieces. Can't deny it, can't pretend. Just thought you were the one. Broken up deep inside. But you won't get to see the tears I cry behind these hazel eyes. This song, I listened to it on repeat in the 8th grade. Again, I don't know why. I wasn't struggling romantically. I think I just liked feeling sad. Like, I would listen to music that made me feel sad, so then I would have an outlet to like cry or feel that emotion. That's normal, right? Anyway, Kelly Clarkson, phenomenal vocalist. Oh my gosh. When I think of like a Kelly Clarkson song that people can belt out during karaoke, most of the time the go-to is Since You've Been Gone. And let me just say this right now. If you can't sing, don't try and belt this out if it's public karaoke. If you are within a confined space and it's just you and your friends, fine, have at it. But I, for one, think if you're going to sing publicly, if you're going to subject the public to your voice, it better be good. I'm being dead serious now. Some people are like, oh, that's not fair. You're saying that if you're not a good singer, you're not allowed to belt in public? Yes. I will administer the muzzle on you myself. It's rude. It's disrespectful. How dare you subject me to your screeching? Do that behind closed doors. Behind These Hazel Eyes, though, oh my gosh. Again, such good, like, swallow me and spit me out. I really hope those are the actual proper lyrics. Wouldn't it be so funny if I ended up singing lyrics to a completely different song? You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not cutting it out. I do implore you all to put on your headphones and listen to every single one of these songs. Make a little playlist. Truly, you will tap into, like, the sad white woman inside of your soul. Okay, up next, number 4, The Reason Is You by Hoobastank. I don't actually think that's the official name, but you know the song I'm talking about. I'm not a perfect person. I never meant to do those things to you. And so I have to say before I go that I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. A reason to start over new. And the reason is you. Man, this is a good karaoke song. And once again, yes, I'm not violating my own rule if I ever do karaoke. It's in a confined space with my friends, okay? I'm not a hypocrite. Now, is the name Hoobastank kind of dumb? Yes. But then again, my username on most of my social media platforms is The Musings of a Crouton, which is like cutesy but pretentious in a way that makes me want to punch myself in the throat. But honestly, that little guitar riff, that kind of stock photo-esque quality to the lead singer, a voice that's nice but isn't particularly distinct. This is what's so perfect about it, right? Is that it's a song that captures a feeling. Lyrics that aren't even really that deep, but you still resonate with. They're sad in a way that's general, where a lot of people can actually relate to it. And that's what I like about it, it's accessibility. Number 3, we have Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I didn't say that this list was original. I just said that it was sad and white. This is another great karaoke song. You can tell that when I do karaoke, I'm surrounded by like sad, drunk white people. And you know what? That's the way I like it. And let me just tell you, the cultural differences in the song selection are very apparent. Because when I get up there, I'm doing My Chick Bad by Ludacris. Because just because I want to sing his infamous lyric, I fill her up. Balloons! And because I want to do the Nicki verse. If you have never done a Nicki Minaj song during karaoke, Miss Nicki, did she willingly marry a murderer and a Yes. I can't really say that I'm a stan of hers at this point. To be honest with you, if you're a grown adult and you see that you're a stan of anyone, like a true, dedicated stan, jump out a window. Maybe that's a little bit too harsh. Actually, maybe it's not. I miss when, like, the response to anyone saying or doing anything that you mildly disliked was just a comment like, go yourself. Do you remember that era of the internet? Everyone was getting called gay and fake. I kind of miss that. I mean, you want to talk about a white yearner song. The top 3 songs on this list are peak Yacubian yearning. Okay, the double Y, which I love. It's a subsection of music that is delicious. It tastes slightly different than black yearning. There's a lot of that in like R&B songs, and I love that as well. But this is a flavor of it that is just, it's whinier. Does that make any sense? It makes me feel like I'm scribbling my secrets and like my crush's name in like a mead marble composition book. Anyway, Goo Goo Dolls. Oof. I know this is probably their most famous song, and for good reason. Y'all popped off with this one. Number 2. This is probably the song that I think a lot of y'all assumed was gonna be number 1. And it's of course Creep by Radiohead. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Which, a song, by the way, it's so overrated that it has done a 180 and now it's become underrated. I didn't really understand why people liked this song so much until I got a little bit older and a little bit sadder. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of understand it. I remember I was initially introduced to this song through like a Patrice O'Neal clip.
It's a good song. And then I seen videos and it's mesmerizing to white people. They start floating. I'm a creep. I'm a loon.
There we go.
Dude!
It just comes on when you talk about it.
I'm telling you, 7 people just crashed into the bay just now.
And I was like, he does have a point. White people do love this song. And you know what? I get it. I tapped into the wavelength. There's something about acknowledging like the reason that your love is being unreciprocated is actually because of you. You're the problem. They're not like, oh, how dare she? She doesn't like me. I mean, there is a self-pitying element to it, like, oh, I'm so sad and pathetic, and like, that's why she doesn't like me. But at the same time, if that sadness manifests as writing a song as opposed to like, I don't know, cornering her in an alley and like giving her a bunch of new holes, then I think this is a healthier coping mechanism. This is the perfect song for people who feel like they're outcasts, but are actually not even particularly that weird. You know that flavor of human that thinks that like they're so odd and such an outlier, but if anything, their idiosyncrasies are like pretty normal. I'm talking about myself. Maybe that's why I like this song so much. And at number 1, we have Linger by the Cranberries. There is a cover of this song that I found. Oh my gosh. Y'all need to listen to the whole thing. It is beautiful. Y'all ever listen to a song and just skip to like one little tidbit of it because it just pulls at your heartstrings like nothing else? For me, it's this specific portion of the song. But I'm in so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger eye. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Oh, and the person who did the cover for this, phenomenal. Y'all can tell that the Cranberries are really like writing this music in the midst of a semi-civil war. They're Irish down to their core. If there is a group of white people that know sadness and suffering, it is the Irish. So congratulations to the Cranberries. You have earned the number 1 position on this top 10 list made by a, not even a D-list internet celebrity. I think I'm like maybe Q-list at this point, but I prefer it that way because it means like no one's actually paying attention to me, which means I can pretty much say whatever I want. If you've made it to this portion of the video, thank you so much for watching. Tell me down below Angela, what is your favorite sad white person song? I'm probably gonna make another one of these videos, but it's gonna be like my favorite white bops, or it's gonna be my favorite, oh my gosh, my favorite hood songs. Yes, I'm gonna make that. Now, when I say hood, I don't even just mean black people. Eminem is a hood. Bad Baby is a hood chick. I like that one song, Gucci flip flops, bitch, it hit my socks. I heard it and I was like, you know what? I wanted to hate this, but I don't. I kind of like it. I hate that I'm like, this is kind of a bop. Dang it. Anyway, good for her. I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for watching.